We are on the cusp of a major social change. Do you feel it? Even if you don't, make no mistake, change is coming, and it is going to be unforgettable. I'm your host, Dr. Sarah Hart, and here on Prime Spark, where we work with and on behalf of women over 55, I want to help you find that spark that will ignite your way forward, reflect your gifts to the world, and illuminate your path through this next stage of life. Through these podcast conversations, I hope to inspire you to see how you can make a significant contribution to some of the gnarly problems that are facing us right now. Join me, and together let's discover our Prime Spark. Hi, I'm Sarah Hart. Welcome to Prime Spark. I'm so happy you're here with us. Prime Spark is designed to help us all live our happiest, most successful and fulfilling lives, now and in the future. The mission of Prime Spark is to change the way our society sees and treats older women. That's a big mission, which only means we all need to be involved and we need to get going now. And today I had the great pleasure of talking with Susan Davis, a woman whose work I greatly admire. Susan Davis, an entrepreneur for over 50 years, is a co-creator who loves being a mentor, connector, and facilitator. Her company, the Co-Creation Community, LLC, supports creative and emerging entrepreneurs in igniting their creative muse and gaining a presence with their creative endeavors so they can enjoy more influence, success, and abundance flowing to them with ease and grace. Susan considers this chapter of her life and work re-inspirement. Welcome, Susan. I'm so happy you're here today.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm so happy you invited me to be here today.
So just to getting started, let me ask you, do you experience getting older? And if you do, what is that experience? And if you don't, why is it that you think that you don't?
Well, I guess we all experience getting older, but I don't like to think of it that way. I like to think of it as leveling up, because the good things that happen are built on what has come before, and it's just a way to grow. We're growing from the time we're born, and this is no different now in these later chapters or levels of our lives. So, things change, and that's okay. I think change is good. For the most part, there are stuff happens that I don't like about this chapter, but I don't focus on that. I move on.
I love it. You are one of the most positive people I know, and consistently so. And I don't think it's because you repress anything. I think it's because you choose to look at the positive. It's a choice you made. So
Yeah,
how do you define passion, purpose, and calling? Because they seem, in a sense, very similar to me. So how do you define them?
Well, that is a great question, because I think it addresses what we go through in all phases of our lives, but maybe especially now that we're in this next chapter. I don't want to call it the last chapter because I'm intending it to be just one of many more, but it's sort of getting to the end of the book, and we want to be relevant. I think everybody wants to be relevant, whether we're women, men, younger people, or people our age. We want to be relevant in the world. And so having looking at what our passion, purpose, and calling are is really important. And I think it also kind of changes. So, how I define those things, I think of passion as our creative expression. This can maybe change throughout our lives, but I think it often is similar. We have similar passions from the time we're 10 and maybe even before. It is the way we express our what we love to do. Our purpose is the meaning behind our creative expression. I throw creativity into that because I think that creativity is what drives everything. And I believe we're all creative. And I call us all creatives. It doesn't matter whether you're an artist or a writer or a coach or someone who is retired and plays golf because that's your passion. You are a creative. That is the essence of what humanity is. Humans are creative. And I think that does drive everything. I don't put any limits on creativity or what defines a creative. So calling is how you express those creative expressions. And so an example might be, for me, my calling is to be a co-creator in everything I do. And I do that in all situations where everyone is included, heard, supported, and their gifts are honored. And they're also received so that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. We play together. And whatever the resulting experience is, everybody is involved in it. And one of my passions is mentoring and teaching. I love everything about teaching, and that goes for creating the whatever it is, whether it's the creating the experience. So the workshop or the salon or the class, the course, whatever, the creation of that. I love it. And I love delivering it. I love being in the environment with the people who are coming and learning and playing together. And I love delivering it in different ways. I love delivering it online or in person or, making videos or whatever. I like all of that stuff. And I also, most of all, love to watch the people who are in that experience, who are experiencing this thing that I'm teaching or mentoring them. I love to watch them grow and just thrive and just soar with whatever the material is that I've been able to share with them. So that's sort of an example of how I express one of my passions. And the purpose behind all of that is to serve, inspire, motivate, and support other people, my students, my clients, the attendees to this experience, so that they can ignite their own creative muse and gain that confidence, visibility, influence, and abundance with ease and grace. So I don't know.
Yeah, you say that you think that all humans are creative, that it's part of just being human. I know a lot of people who don't think of themselves as being creative. If you said to them, "Are you creative?" they'd say no. Why is it that so many of us feel that we're not creative?
conditioning, I think. I think that in our culture, in the United States anyway, we've been kind of indoctrinated to think that creativity means you're an artist or you're a writer or you're a musician, the arts. And I come from an arts background. And so I know, yes, that is creativity. That is part of my own creativity. But there is so much more to what I consider creative. And that is, you know, well, I lived 40 years in Silicon Valley and I saw amazing innovation and creativity happening with people who were not artists, with people who were thinkers and who were tech people, who were innovators in technology, who were engineers. I think that coming up with ideas that change the world, that's incredibly creative. And that may even be changing the world in terms of philanthropy, coming up with ways to fund a cause, or when someone is passionate about a particular cause. Let's say they're passionate about helping homeless people. Homeless situation is something that is deeply concerning to them, and they're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people who have nothing. Their creativity comes to the forefront with how they act on that passion. Their creative expression is how they act on that passion. And that passion may be a calling as well.
Do you think that we are different kind of creative at different times in our life, or not?
Yeah, I do. I think that some of that comes with what we all go through as a culture, as a society, at different phases of our lives. We have a couple decades of when we're in school, and the creativity that happens during those times may be different than the creativity and I'll say passions as well, that happens when we're young adults in a first-time career, or even, let's say, in college and university, higher education. Our creativity and our passions may look slightly different. I do think that our calling is a thread that kind of weaves everything together over decades.
So, Susan, when we think about what you're saying, how does your work, and my work also, how is it relevant to women over 50? Why is it important? What does it mean for us to be re-inspired, and why is it important for us to be looking at that?
That's a great question, because I think that relevancy is a big issue for all of us. And I know that many of the women that I work with and that I meet in communities like Prime Spark Women, that we're going through transitions. We're going through a time in our lives and a feeling, an experience, an inside thing is happening to us, where we're moving from one thing to another. And this can be all kinds of different things. It can be transitioning out of a very successful career. It can be we're now empty nesters, perhaps. It can be we're becoming caregivers for our own parents or for even our spouses. There's all kinds of transitions happening in our lives. And so we need, all of us are questioning, how am I in this world? What can make me feel happy? What can make me feel fulfilled? What am I passionate about? What is my calling? I finished my career. Was that my calling? And it's over? What's next? We're in that really, I think, exciting what's next period. And so that's why re-identifying our values, rediscovering our passions and our purpose and our calling this is a great time to do that. And I feel that doing it in community, doing it with other women who are experiencing the same thing. It may not be exactly the same because we all have different lives and different pasts and different experiences. But we do it together and we do this exploration together. And that helps us really identify and get re-inspired to go forward and figure out what's next.
You know, when you talk about that, Susan, one of the things I think of, some people have referred to that time as a liminal time. And it can be actually very unnerving and scary and disquieting, because we may have gone through that kind of a time much earlier in our lives and we thought we were done with that. And now all of a sudden we go, who am I? What am I doing? What am I going to do? What's important? And we aren't, many of us, I think, aren't prepared for that to happen at this point in our lives. So it occurs to me when I think about the Prime Spark membership community, it seems to me some of the women in that group have come to a point where they are doing more creative kinds of things. And I think, is that true? Do you think that our creativity can spark during our quote older years?
Absolutely. I think once our creative muse is ignited with that spark, the sky is the limit. And I see it all the time. I see it with the women I work with who are writing books, who are regenerating or even starting fresh as artists and doing that kind of work, or who have started coaching practices that take what they knew before, but now they're, forming it into something new and helping people do all kinds of different things through coaching. Yes, I think that is true. And I see it so very clearly in Prime Spark women. Since I've been with your group since its inception, along with several other women, now this has been over a year. What has it been? A year? I don't know. It's been a long time. I think about what they were like, what I was like in the beginning. And I see growth. I see confidence. I see, okay, yeah, now I listen to my inner mentor. I all of these little things that we've done together to explore this liminal time has worked. It's shown it. I see it in their faces. I see it with what they talk about, how they talk, how they carry themselves, all of this. And I see it with my own clients after all of these years of helping each other get our this kind of stuff. it's really exciting, I think. And
I
it's
think it is
really,
too. Yeah, I agree with you. It's very exciting to watch. So, Susan, you've done so many different things in your life. Of all the things you've done, what are a couple of the things you're proudest of?
well, the thing that pops into my mind, think of immediately, is Bob and I are celebrating our 50th wedding anniversary this year. And we've been together for 53 years. And together has meant, yes, being a couple and raising a family, but it also has meant working together, having a business together, a very successful business for 25 years of that with employees and the whole 9 yards. It's meant co-creating our lives. And so that is really what I'm most proud of, is the fact that I have co-created with Bob for a long, long time. I mean, it's like, how could that be? How could that be 53 years when I'm 27? It doesn't make sense. But yeah, I think that's something that I'm most proud of. And that touches everything. That touches relationships. I'm proud of the relationships I have with a very, very broad and wide group of people. It touches my family, and nurturing my boys and mentoring them and seeing how they're turning out. It touches business because it has allowed me to have the experience of co-creation and teamwork and facilitation and mentoring in business. It's everything. So
Yeah, that's great. And it touches your new grandson, Bo.
Bo,
Yes.
yes, the light
So,
of our lives.
what dreams have you not realized yet that you're looking forward to?
I would love to be able to travel the world to visit the people that I have formed very wonderful relationships with and very deep friendships with, who live in other countries. I've been online and doing my thing online for decades, and it's been wonderful, and I've met so many incredible people that I have never been able to sit down and have a cup of coffee with. Zoom is great because Zoom, at least we see each other, and that's a new thing. And we can each have a cup of coffee, but to actually spend time with people face to face, mano to mano, that would be wonderful. And that would take me around the world, which is another thing I love to do, is travel and experience other cultures and meet more people. And just, I love where I live, but I want to be out. I want to be beyond my beautiful hometown. So
Yeah. So, Susan, if people wanted to get in touch with you, how could they do that if they want to find out more about what you do?
easy. Because I am online, that's the best way to connect with me. And I have my business website that is pretty big and broad, covers a lot of different things that we do. That is thecocreationcommunity.com. I also have a personal business card website. It's Susan M. Davis, biz card.com. And on that, you can see all the stuff I do. And there are links to everything, my social media, my websites, my artwork, my all my stuff. So those are the two places that you could probably connect most easily.
So just say your biz card address one more time so people can write it down.
Susan M. Davis, bizcard.com.
Thank you so much. That's our time today. Please join us again. You can find our Prime Spark podcast on every popular outlet. You can find out more about Prime Spark at primesparkwomen.com. Thank you so much to my guest, Susan Davis. This has been such fun. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Spread tolerance and love. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode and would like to stay updated, you can head over to my website, primesparkwomen.com, and get my free Spark Guide, 7 Questions to Ignite Your Spark, to help you discover your own spark. See you in the next episode.